Loki finally enacts his plan to destroy all of the realms. And we also get a little look back at what exactly happened during Ragnarok, and what plan did Odin put in place to save the Asgardians. This is Immortal Coil number 2. Hello there, Geek Collective, and welcome to Geeks Plus Comics, where we're more than just your average geek. I, of course, am your host for today, Cross, and today we are checking out Immortal Coil number 2 from GVS Comics. Thank you for joining me back here for part 2 of our look at the Immortal Coil series. We looked at issue 1 last week. I had planned to look at both issues last week, but we were running out of time. The video was already getting fairly lengthy, and I didn't want it to run too long, so I decided to call it there. But tonight we are going to jump straight back in to issue 2 and pick up right where we left off. As always, make sure you head on down, hit that like button, that subscribe button, so you don't miss out on any future videos coming from us. And also make sure to get early access to all of our videos from here on YouTube, as well as exclusive content. Go and check out our Patreon, which is linked down below. I think that's it for everything. The only other thing I will mention, in case anybody calls it out, is you may notice my setup is looking a little barren and a little emptier than usual. You may see a few more boxes in the background. I'm actually moving in a couple of weeks, so I have started packing up all of my stuff. So a number of my comics that are usually up, pictures that are on the wall are already being taken down. But I want to make sure we get some more content out for you, so videos will continue while all of that is going on. But just in case anyone was curious what was happening. But everything out the road, let's not waste any more time. It is time to dive straight on in Immortal Coil number 2. Issue 2 begins with a flashback, as we get to look at the last days of Asgard. Odin's son Baldur has fallen, and the last hopes of Asgard's survival have gone with him. Odin looks out at his city, his home, as the snow falls, and the wolf Fenrir can be heard howling in the distance. He, along with the other children of Loki, call to Odin and await him to meet them for the final battle. The voices of the dead call to Odin to join them, and Asgard crumbles around him. The end is nigh, but Odin has one last play to save the lives of those in Asgard from Loki and his children. Odin goes to see Frigga, who cannot bear to handle another scheme from him, as the last one cost her her son. As Odin tries to defend himself, she unleashes a barrage of words, telling how many times she implored him and cried out to him to get rid of his impostor son. And because he wouldn't, it has now cost them everything. Odin's plan can only be performed by Frigga. Asgard is already lost, but the people can be saved, and they can be allowed to begin anew, live new lives in the realm of man. To perform this, they will need to gather the remaining magic of all the other realms, as well as sacrificing countless people to do so. Frigga is the final piece, as Odin requires her to create a lie so vast and intricate that Loki himself would be unable to untangle it. To accomplish this, Odin sacrifices Mjolnir to harness its power, as well as to call upon the lives of the Asgardians that have already been lost, and he imbues Frigga with it all. She goes to where they are holding Loki. He is as twisted and cocky as ever, mocking her that she has come to delight in him receiving consequences for his transgressions, and asking if this satisfies her grief. He mocks that she can't kill him, because she could not imagine a world without him in it. But Frigga is no longer the same person that she was before, and she has come to do what she feels should have been done a long time ago. She pours her new power into Loki and casts him into a black eternal void, while creating new stars for the remaining Asgardians on Earth. Unfortunately, the dark and eternal void wasn't quite as empty as she had planned it to be. Loki lands in an ocean and awakens something. A being stirs that begins to remember who it is. It cannot remember how long it has been in the void with the deafening hum of eternal silence. But the arrival of Loki brings new awareness and opportunity, as the being tells him to dream with him of a world on fire. Loki's pain feeds it, and is a spark to light the way, and together they will take this dream to Earth. Back in the present day, at a university in upstate New York, we see a lecturer speaking about the Norse gods and how they became champions of the common people's culture against the incoming influence of Christianity, and the lesson is cut off there by the end of class. As the students shuffle out, an avid listener steps forward, saying that she gave quite a lecture. It was almost as if she was there. As she tries to advise that class has ended, we see that Loki is the one that has approached her, calling her Thrud, and querying why she doesn't have a hug for her long-lost uncle. Properly freaked out by the green-clad man in the horned mask, the lecturer threatens to call security before making a hasty exit. But unfortunately for her, she walks into a hallway littered with bodies and finds Hel standing there, feeding on another one. The lecturer is terrified and runs for her life, screaming for help. Unfortunately, she trips, her glasses falling to the ground and smashing in the process. Hel lifts her with magic, saying that her brother tried to run from his fate too. Loki tells her that it's a shame, as this would be far more enjoyable if she remembered who she was. She says that he doesn't have to do this, to which Loki responds, "She's right, he doesn't have to do this, but he wants to." As Loki runs a blade through her neck and jaw, we are transported to Angus in a strange-looking land, with a boat approaching. He is beckoned into the boat by a ferryman, who is the one that informs Angus that he is actually dead. Angus asks the ferryman if he can tell him where they are going, to which he replies that they are going to see his grandmother. He doesn't understand, but before he has too much time to process what has happened, they arrive at a house on a small island. The ferryman sends Angus alone towards the house. As he approaches the front door, however, Angus finds himself underwater and being dragged down into an abyss. Just as the fear and the panic of his situation takes hold, all of a sudden he finds himself inside the house and standing with his grandmother. As Angus attempts to get his bearings, his supposed grandmother says how good it is to see him. He tells her that she's not his grandmother, and he doesn't know her or what's going on. His grandmother responds, telling him to kindly shut the F up. He doesn't remember Asgard, but it remembers him, and deep within his mortal body is the soul of a god and a warrior of Asgard. His grandfather played a selfish game that they are all paying the price for, but his sister will be joining him soon. Angus tries to explain that he has no idea what she's talking about, but his grandmother has had enough. Power and lightning fill her voice and eyes, and she screams at him, "Enough! You are the eldest child of Thor. A darkness is coming, one that they did not foresee, and it threatens to end everything. It is time to wake up. Now! All of a sudden, Angus is back in his body. He opens his eyes as two paramedics are working on his body in an attempt to save his life. Imbued with God powers, he is enveloped in lightning and accidentally shocks and launches both the paramedics across the train car. He apologizes and exits the subway, where he is met by his sister, Third. She asks him if he is awake, to which he replies, yes. She says, good, now let's go find our brother. While the children of Thor rediscover who they are, Loki and Hel have made their way to Mount Kailash in Tibet. Hel is concerned that Loki has left one of Thor's children alive, but he tells her that time is of the essence, so only one of his offspring still asleep in the other life is nothing that they need to be concerned about right now. Hel opens a gateway, but is suspicious, believing that Loki didn't truly need her help to open this. Loki says he knows her better than that, and knows that she wants to be here for this as much as he does. She warns that they will be waiting on the other side, to which Loki responds, of course they will. Where would be the fun otherwise? As they enter the portal, there is indeed someone waiting for them. Black creatures with horns and wings await them, and Hel says that she will take care of them to allow her father to do what he must. Hel holds back the creatures long enough for Loki to pull out the vial that he found in Odin's study, open it, and pour it out on a central area, built almost like an altar, in the middle of the room. Loki tells his daughter that dreaming becomes undone. This is the beginning of the end. Hel tells him that sentiment doesn't suit him, but he retorts that it isn't sentiment, but enlightenment. No tricks, no games, not this time. He did not need her here, but she followed her fate as he followed his, and Loki removes his jacket and mask, stepping into the altar. He laughs maniacally as the doorway between Earth and the void where Loki had been sent, the one where he had heard the voice in the emptiness. The door is opened. Loki seemingly disappears and seems to sacrifice himself to open it, but in his place stands another. Humanoid in appearance, but conceals Lovecraftian-like tendrils in his body. He stands to his feet and tells Hel that Loki has played his part, and now it's time for them to play theirs. He tells Hel that she has no idea the dreams that he brings in his wake, and the dreams that they will awaken here. Dreams that bring madness and chaos of an ever-waking slumber, and they will start a fire so big and bright that it will awaken the Elder Ones. And that's Immortal Coil number 2. Sorry it took us a couple of weeks to get to the end of the 2 issues, but I hope that you, like me, think it was well worth the wait. I adored this story. I was completely taken in by it. I completely enjoyed it. It feels like it flew by so quickly. Like, it feels like you get little bits and pieces in the second issue, and before you know it, it's already done. But it's in the best way possible, as it leaves you wanting more. I'm completely taken in with this story, and I'll be honest, I have no idea where it's going to go. I've got to completely commend Gerald von Stoddard for it, because, as I said in my last video, I was really worried that this was another book featuring Norse mythology, because we've seen Norse mythology pop up so frequently in pop culture in the last 15-20 years. And we've also seen Lovecraftian stuff pop up quite a bit as well, maybe not to the same extent. And that was one of my major concerns coming into the series was, is it going to be able to define itself, hold its own, or is it going to be a constant comparison to the other versions of Norse mythology and pop culture, specifically stuff like the MCU and Marvel at the moment? I do have to say, sorry, I am swallowing like crazy. Allergies are crazy here just now, but I thoroughly enjoyed this story. I enjoyed the journey of Loki and finding Hel and seeking to unleash this nameless god that he encountered while he was banished, and to bring forth the end of all the realms. And while that's going on, we also have the Asgardians trying to be woken up as Loki tries to kill Thor's children, but instead they're being woken up as the front line to face whatever Loki is unleashing. Issue 2 did a phenomenal job of getting us to a point where it's like, okay, it feels like everything's almost set up exactly where we need it to be. And I can't wait to see what comes next. I want to see this nameless god who is apparently taking Loki's place, as Loki seems to have sacrificed himself to unleash him. What him and Hel are going to do to this world, what they're going to do to the realms. How are Thor's children going to handle it? Are we going to see the third of Thor's children actually be awoken in the next issue? And what path is this going to take? This is a completely unique, completely original story based on these mythologies and these universes. And I don't know what's going to happen, but it's definitely got my attention. I think the writing is really well done. I think Gerald von Stoddard's done an amazing job with the writing. The story was really gripping. There wasn't really any lulls, especially as we came into issue 2. I felt like it picked up the pace and really keeps you engaged. And I think the artwork is just absolutely phenomenal. Like, it's one of those comics that you hope that if you back a comic on Kickstarter, you hope that it's going to be of this high quality. This is absolutely something that you could see on the shelf in a comic book store easily, and it wouldn't look out of place. So I completely am taken with it. The artwork, the colouring, and Guilherme's colouring is absolutely phenomenal in this book. The lettering is absolutely beautiful. Like, everything just fits together, and it looks like it all comes together in a cohesive story. Cat attack apparently from my video. No, go on. Thank you. There you go. Got a cat in that video for you. I don't know when issue 3 drops. I want to say that it's late 2025, early 2026. I don't know when issue 3 drops, but I can tell you this, that it is a comic I will be looking out for in Kickstarter. I will be seeking to cover, I will be seeking to pick up. I want to see where the story goes. I don't know where it's going, but he has bought enough good faith in me in the last 2 issues that I want to see how this... I don't know if it's going to be one story arc, I don't know if it's an ongoing story, I don't know how he's laying it out, but all I know is that for GVS Comics and Gerald von Stoddard, I'm here for the ride. Immortal Coil completely grabbed my attention, and in reading the first 2 issues, you completely kept it. So I cannot wait to see what you do with this story. I cannot wait to see what more stunning artwork comes out. And I hope it's one that you will all check out, and it's one I would highly recommend getting for yourself. Down in the comments below, if you've checked this out, let me know what your thoughts are on it, or if just from the videos and hearing the story, what did you think? And is this a story that you'll be picking up for yourself? Remember to go down and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any future content from us here at Geeks Plus Comics. And remember also, check out the links down below if you want to support us over on Patreon, and also follow us on all of our social media to keep up to date with everything that we're doing. But for today, that's all from me, and remember, it's a good week to be a geek. Take care, we'll see you all next time. Peace.